Hello YouTube, it's Accurate again, back with another live stream. Yet another mess when it comes to the technology behind all this. Hi and welcome. We are about 15 minutes late to the stream, but we are here and it is what it is. So, before I even get into all the things I've been through over the last 30 minutes, hi, please help me out. I've done a lot of changes right here, right now, and it's been a mess. Please just give me a little bit of feedback in the chat room if we are live and it works and we're kind of in sync and that we are on like 1080p for resolution. If not, I don't even know what I'm going to do, but I just want to know if it looks and it feels good and it's if this is what it's supposed to be, you know, a full 1080p stream, everything in sync and everything working nicely. So please help me out in the chat room. And then whenever I got that all down, let's get into the whole thing as quickly as possible today, because we have some work to do. We do have some work to do. Oh. We're live, synced, and in focus. Everything's cool. Okay, thanks a lot for telling me, guys. This has been a headache. 1080p's audio looks good. That's a good confirmation that everything is better than what you are right now. Audio looks good. Well, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna try my absolute best to not complain too much. To not complain too much. Just not complain. Okay, and I immediately fucked things up. Whatever. We are on that camera and everything's nice and it's all good. It's all good. What's really cool in situations like this, when it becomes a little bit stressful and things just doesn't work, and obviously something happened with OBS telling me that the video codec ran out. I don't even know what that means. What's cool is to be able to take a look in the chat room and see some familiar, nice names in there. Artisan is here, Benji's here, Chris52, Made So Well, Key2 Beats, you know, all the usual suspects. All the friends are in the chat. Beat Owl too, of course. I don't want to miss that guy, you know. One thing I do need to point out though is that we haven't seen Moran in here for a few weeks at this point, right? Moran, however you want to say that. The guy with the like Asian letters. Moldy Thoughts is in the house. Boom. Ariago and someone, Emo, are you in here? I think I saw you. Stan Solo. Boom. Buckshot Jerry. You know. Moldy Thoughts Made So Well. Everyone's here. Everyone's here. Kane TV as well. First stream for me watching with my first monitor speakers. That's good. That's awesome. And thank you guys for having the patience to wait. I know like scheduling a stream at like 8 o'clock and not starting it before 8:15 is not a good look, but you know. Thank you. Artisan and everyone else. Email. I want to find you. Did I find you? I think I found you. That sounded like a chorus from an old rap track. Email or AML. What's good? Rich guy here. Can't wait. Made So Well has all the dollars. All the dollars. Well, so let me just point this out real quick. We are here for one single reason. You know, we're here to listen to music. Music from you. Can't even put words together into a sentence at this point. Let's talk about why we're here. We are here for one single purpose, and that's to enjoy music and art that you guys have submitted to this show. That's what my beat reviews are. That's what we do. And I've seen a few people asking already in the chat room, and I'm going to say it right now. Everything is handled from my website, www, funny enough, .accuratebeats.com. It's even supposed to be here, you know? That's where you go. Some of you know this by now, but some of you might not. Go to accuratebeats.com, click into Beat Review, and in there, the webpage is soon going to be updated, and you're going to be able to just click into a form and submit your beat in a form. The beat needs to be less than 10 megabytes in file size, so it needs to be a compressed audio file, an MP3 or something like that. And that's going to happen really, really soon, you know? Right now, it's not there, so get into the website and hit refresh or whatever. It's soon going to be there. I'm soon going to do it. And then it's going to be open for a couple of minutes. I'm going to receive a lot of beats, and we're going to play them. We're going to talk about them. We're going to review them. We're going to give some feedback, break things down, and get all nerdy about the music making process. You know, accuratebeats.com is the place to go. Now, should I just keep talking a little bit, or should I open it up? I think I need to talk just a little bit, just to mention this real quick. Next week, we're not doing a beat review on here. We might do a beat review next week. I still haven't decided. It's all a mess right now. My life is just upside down, and I can't decide on anything. We are slowly but steadily working on a sample challenge for this theme for this concept of mine. It's not going to happen just yet, but soon enough. So next week might not be an episode of Beat Review, or it might be. I'm still, it's all a mess. It's all a mess. I'm not even going to say anything about that. Forget the last 2 minutes of this. Yes, open. Buckshot Jerry has a point. So I'm going to go into my website right now. It's already finished. It's just a matter of hitting publish. And if you are on the Beat Review page on my website, you're going to be able to just walk straight in there and see this link called Submit Your Music here. Click that one and it's all going to be good. I'm going to update it right now, and there is a bit of latency between me and you, so please understand that. But right now the website is updated. So the floodgate, so to speak, is open. You are able to go to the website, this website, accuratebeats.com, and just submit your beat in there. Write your name, type a little message if you want to, submit your file, and just send it away. It's going to arrive. I'm going to stumble around in my inbox to find all the things, and then we're going to play beat after beat after beat, and just after every single beat, we're going to talk about them, you know? Bring, that's an email. Not on the right... that's totally... That doesn't have anything to do with this. But it's open right now. Let's listen to a loop of music as we wait for the submissions to get in. We lost the baseline, but whatever. Okay, shit. It happened again. Let's get in there. Let's take that one out. Let's update it again. And now the website is updated one more time. So now you can't submit anymore. That's what it is. You know? Fuck that. Jesus. I'm going to move that one over there instead. So if I hit anything wrong, it's going to become like this instead of with the audio and everything. Cool. So we have opened up the floodgates and we have closed it again. We got a lot of beats already, and I think that's what it is. We are learning as we go, and I'm starting to understand that we are getting a lot of submissions. And I'm also realizing that I'm sitting way too close to the mic. Hey. It's a compressor and stuff, so it doesn't matter that much, but still. We have a lot of beats, and in the chat room, 400 plus tracks has been sent. That's not true. It's not that bad. I'm not that popular. This is not going that well, but we do have a lot of beats in the inbox right now. And some of you guys are always interested to know how many, and because I think I closed it earlier today, we have 13 beats right now. 13 beats. And some ads from UVI. Okay. 13 beats in the inbox, and I am recognizing a few names since before, and there are some new names as well. Just the quick glimpse at this tells me that it's more names that I don't recognize than there is familiar ones. That's cool. That's awesome. Good. The beat is solid AF. Love the vibe. This one? Made So Well asks, ever considered a macro pad or a Streamlab? For switching the video stuff, yeah, I had this whole thing before, like a proper video switcher. It just gave me a lot of headache, and it had a fan inside of it that made noise and stuff. Getting one of those, like a Stream Deck. I've thought about it, but just, doing this, if I just know where I'm clicking, it's not that bad, So let's go. Yeah, I agree. Let's go. Now we're up to 15 beats, because whenever I close it, if you are on the site and you're trying to like submit, it's still gonna come through, but you can't get into that website, that part of the site, whatever. Let's not talk more about this. It's already been a bit. That one came in 0 minutes ago. That one came in 4 minutes ago. So this is the first one. Cool. Let's just play the first beat. Let's just jump right into it. We can't just be hanging out and just chit-chatting and just, we can't socialize like that. That doesn't work. So the first beat for today comes from Jared Vanderkalk, who says, "What's up? Good to be here again. Last week you reviewed one of my beats that me and my brother made on the SP404. Yeah, I remember that one. We're back with another beat this week, and we would like to know what you think about it. We call ourselves The Cooks, and this track is called Four Seasonings. Thanks for taking the time. The series is great. Keep it going. Jared and Tyler." So let's download this MP3 file onto my hard drive and hope that it's not a virus. Shouldn't even have said that to jinx it, but and into, no, that's a little bit too fast, even for a Speedy Gonzalez like myself. And we have a robot in the way of my computer monitor, so you need to move a little bit less, like He could be on screen. That's a good look. Robot, squirrel. That's life. Yeah, you can actually see him right here. Now, the first beat, Jared Vanderkalk, made with by him and his brother. Let's just play the track. And let's make sure that I still have my... Okay, I lost everything. I lost the... Okay, now we're on Twitch. You know, what's happening? Okay, I lost control of everything. Now I can't see the chat room. I can't see anything. I want to be able to see the chat, you know? Did the stream even die? Maybe that happened. If it did, it's live again. We are on it. So let's play this first track and stop talking. Yeah, that's nice. And that's about 2 minutes of it. So you know, let's cut it right there. Someone says nice and punchy, and yeah, that's definitely one way to put it. You know, this was a great way to start the stream, for sure. The first thing that stood out to me was like this mad switch up at like 1.5 minutes when it became this. You know, that just really works for me. That's whew. The entire thing was good before that, but when that part came in, it's just that type of switch up makes someone like me go like, yeah, that's the energy. That's what we're talking about. The first more like mellow section of the entire thing, when the bass line came in, that also took me kind of off guard and changed up the entire vibe of things. So the dynamics of the arrangement here, doing that many different patterns and different things, works really well. Something about like the complete picture of this entire track doesn't really hold up for some reason. There's something... Okay, Beatmaker, sorry you missed this. It's been a whole thing. The stream has been live for like 20 minutes or something. I was late. Things didn't work. Um, there's something about like the musical content and the drums here that it works, but it needs a little bit of glue somehow to just feel like one entire unit. And I think I said something like that about your last submission too. So maybe that's just your sound. I don't know. But yeah, the horns that came in really took the entire thing to another level. The bass line had this funny little thing about it. But what's really cool is the amount of work you put into the arrangement here to make it fun to listen to. Every single section of the beat itself is not super strong always, but it kind of doesn't have to. It doesn't need to be super strong because as a listener, you're kind of taken onto this trip of things where things will evolve and change over time, and that's cool. Really cool. Beatmaker, yeah, I'm sorry, the forum is closed now. That's, I'm sorry about that. Some cool switch up with the drums and stuff too. Takes you really far. But I gotta be honest, a part of me was like afraid that this section right here was the entire track that was just going on for 2 minutes. Which wouldn't have been the end of the world either, but just the fact that you came in with a lot of switch up and things, it's nice. It's nice. It's all subjective. It's all a matter of personal taste. But to me, like I would have done a little bit different things with the drums, like the programming of things when it comes to the volume and stuff. But who cares? This track in its entirety is fun to listen to and it's good. It's vibey for sure. Good track to get the vibe going. Yeah. Cool. So that's the first track. Jared Vanderkalk and his brother called The Cooks delivered the first beat, delivered the first piece of music for us today, and I had a great time listening to it. For sure. So that's that one all done. Let's move on to the next one by Oliver Jones. That's what it is. Hi, Mr. Accurate. Something I came up with last week. I got a certain vibe to it. Phil, see what you think. One quite well-known sample in here, plus some scratchy. Love from England. So we have another submission from the UK. That's cool. Boom. Let's have a listen to Oliver Jones. It's been over 2 minutes, so let's cut it right there. This track was a little bit different. A lot of fun to listen to and a lot of fun to just, okay, Kane TV just became a super accurate supporter, which means that he is now a member of the channel, and we don't really know what that means, but welcome to the club of members. Someday I'm sure I'm going to do something exclusive to members. Right now there's a few emojis and stuff you can use in the chat. But yeah, Kane TV, thank you. Thank you. So again, this beat, I do like all of the different ideas you have here, and you have kind of presented them in a way that's not super polished, I think. And it's interesting and it's fun and it's cool. The entire drive and the feel and the like forward movement of the drums with the different with that grungy bass thing going on, like kind of feels like a locomotive, like a train somehow. I like the idea of that, and it's cool. You're introducing all these big string sections and things just happen. And it's cool. But again, someone also mentioned it in the chat room that it's really unbalanced. And I think like unbalanced is the way I would say it myself as well. It feels like it doesn't really have, a sharp ending point, so to speak. It doesn't have a focus. It feels unfocused. That's what I'm trying to say. It's nice and it's cool, and you can probably like help this out with some mixing tricks or whatever. That could be all you have to do. I'm not sure. But it's something that it doesn't really hold its own. It doesn't. Let's listen to a few, Yeah, that's the well-known sample, the piano part. It's cool. It's dark and mysterious and strange and odd and a little bit unnerving. The Beatcast gave us a super chat. Big up Accurate and the chat. Yeah, big up back to you. Love what you guys are doing. You know that. So this beat, I mean, it's dark and it's cool and it's moody, but it's something about the production that doesn't... Can someone help me out in the chat room? What am I talking about? There is something. I'm always trying to like pick apart, separate the bass frequencies from the higher frequencies and like everything in between. We have everything in here, but somehow it's just... Maybe we need more volume with the drums to just have that forward moving tension thing even louder and even more pronounced. Yeah, because that string section really takes over the entire thing. It's not a bad part. It's a good part, but I'm not sure that it works mixed like this. I think we're talking about mixing again and like just polishing this to a point where it's even better. But thanks you for sending this one over. I think this was an interesting listen for all of us. When I make beats, I normally I keep my drums to the basics. And having like a bass line working with the drums like this becomes really interesting and really cool. Because, you couldn't listen to this without the bass. It wouldn't work. And all those adds a lot of bounce and a lot of life to it. Uh, Another super chat from MTL. £2 British. Big love from Scotland. Thank you. The beat is too uneven. Yeah, it's uneven. Someone says it's cinematic. Muddy and ominous. Okay. Maybe it's the muddiness that I'm not totally understanding, But we say this every week. It's all about art. It's all about subjectivity. There's no right and wrong. This is good as it is. A new member, triple super chats. The community is on fire this stream. Yeah, Chris52. I know. It feels good. Feels good to have a little bit of support and some friends to hang out with and just listen to music with. Now, let's jump into the next one. We can't be too when we have issues finding the right words to describe what we're trying to improve, maybe it's better to just move on to the next one. And the next one comes from Emil Lindberg, who's called Emil in the chat room. Emil. It's a Swedish name. Oh, you did a bad one. It's a link and also a file. Okay, cool. Good job. I've been in touch with Emil for a little bit. He sent in a beats when I used to do this way back in the day off stream as edited videos. And he has been active on the Discord and a little bit off and on, and it's been years. So it's really good to be able to feature you on the show again. Not that I can remember exactly what you did last time, because again, years ago, and I'm an old head with bad memory. James Rockwell comes in with another super chat. Woo! Thank you. Okay, JL says something smart here. Individual layers don't differentiate themselves. All kind of becomes wallpaper. It does come down to the mixing. Yeah, that's a good way to point it out. Emil, let's listen to your piece of music. And you said it's a jungle beat, Love from Gävle. Nice. Jungle. Yeah, okay. That's, it's not a finished track. It's just 2 minutes of it. I didn't cut it out. It ended like that. So I gotta say this first of all. Anything is welcome on this show. Anything goes. You're welcome to submit anything, and I'm gonna play anything. I've cut like one or two beats out because too distorted or whatever, impossible to listen to. But anything goes. Sometimes I'm not going to be able to say much about them because I don't know the genre and I'm not, not good enough to have opinions. And this is almost that. Jungle is not my genre. It's not something I listen to. It's not a genre that I'm really familiar with. But with all that said, a classic drum break like this, I don't even know my drum breaks as well anymore. This is not the Amen break, right? This is one of the other ones. Because using a drum break like this together with what I would think as, something I would feel fits to it, like funky bass lines and more like up-tempo breakdance kind of music. That's what it is. This is, to me, better than that because you have the big driving force in the drums and then you have like all these ambient, ethereal, like, really cool soundscapes with some hints of melodies and stuff in there and some nice chord changes and all that. But the contrast between drums like that and melodics, musical instruments like that, to me, it's a great marriage between two different things that shouldn't go together, And if I would have done something like this myself, I would do a lot of sidechain compression to like have all the sounds duck for the kick drum, and maybe that's wrong because this becomes more flowy and more vibey and more natural, more organic, which is cool. With this tempo and this type of energy, you're not getting a lot of dynamics in terms of the arrangement and stuff, but that's fine. I think that's, in this genre, it is what it is. And what's cool about, when you listen to it, the pulse going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's super obvious. But since you also have this like slower evolving sounds on top of everything, it's also like 1, 2, 3, 4. Half tempo, the half tempo feel together with the full tempo feel becomes cool. Different and interesting and cool. Because when I think of like fast drum breaky type of stuff, it becomes irritating in the long run because it's just that, that like intense. And maybe that's in this genre too, but a part of me feels like, again, I say this always, a more pronounced bass line would have done something to this track. Good or bad, I don't know, but it would have changed the entire thing up, and it would be interesting to hear that. This entire track, but with a more pronounced bass line. But in this genre and for what it is, I think this is nice. And a lot of people in the chat room who doesn't appreciate this genre thinks that this is cool. And I'm on the same page. A lot of nice textures and stuff going on. There is a little bit of reverb, but there's also like a lot of like just natural stuff going on, one thing going to another. Yeah. Emil says, yes, I always layer drum sounds. Hot Pants Break is awesome. Hot Pants Break. I found it after I made the song. Okay. I don't know what that means. Good job, Emil. I was not expecting this from you. I thought we were getting like lo-fi type of hip hop, but this is what we got, and this is cool. Again, anything goes on this show. It's just that I'm not smart enough to have the best things to say about everything because I don't know every single genre. But this is cool. And I just gotta say, I noticed that there are a lot of deep 808s in there, but I'm talking about the pronounced bass line going like doom 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 together with the thing. But yeah, this one is pretty cool, even though I'm not a fan of jungle and it's a genre that I don't really get. But awesome. And thank you, Emil Lindeberg from Gävle. Great submission, great piece of music. Awesome stuff. Now, this is another submission from someone called Gianni G, who asks, how is the mix? And he has a submission called Japan 84 BPM. So, yeah, a straight up question about how is the mix. Let's check it out. That's exactly 2 minutes of it because I'm doubting myself right here, right now. I'm reading stuff in the chat room that everyone says it's fired and it needs more bass. Drums are on point. I'm sorry, but what the are you guys talking about? I gotta check this on my monitors. Hold on. And I gotta have to mute the mic or almost mute it. Hold on. Yeah, I do. Okay, hey, okay, that's it. What are you talking about? He asked about the mix. The only thing I said was, how is the mix? And the beat, the sample, the idea is nice. I don't have anything to complain about. But the mix is the problem here. Am I the only one feeling this? Someone said, pull the kick drum 2 or 3 dB, then bump the melody 2 or 3 dB. To me, that's not that wouldn't be nearly enough. On my headphones, it's really, really obvious, but also on the monitor speakers, it's crazy. The kick drum takes the entire thing. I know that it's distorted and saturated or overdriven or whatever, and it's a part of the thing and it's cool, but loudness wise, it's way too loud. That's too much. Yeah, let's just agree to disagree here. To me, this kick drum is way too loud. Not even just a couple of decibels. We're talking way too loud. And together with that snare drum and the hi-hat groove and everything, this would be awesome. Really, really cool. If the bass line was, bass drum was balanced differently. To me, yeah, that camera is not showing up all the frames anymore. Fuck that. To me, just lower the kick drum a lot. Give the bass line more space in the mix and the melodies maybe a little bit too. But mainly, just take down the kick drum, increase the bass line, and it's so much better. So much better. Kane TV says the kick is more like 12 decibels down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Made so well, I know that the kick is super punchy. Yeah, it's super punchy and it's good. It's not a bad sample. It sounds good, but it's too loud. The mix is not too bad, but the kick is too loud and the bass is way too quiet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got some Pet Cemetery vibes. Yeah, that's cool. Pull the kick down. Yeah, the Beatcast. Al, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that I don't agree. Needs to be taken down. Way down. Not just taken down with an EQ. Just go into the actual mix and turn down the volume of it because it's too much. Other than that, you know, I'm going on this rant because people are saying that it's good, and I feel like, yeah, it is good, but it needs to be changed a lot. The beat itself is nice, hands down. It's a nice beat. The sample works, and the bass line hidden down there fits really well into it. It becomes melodic and cool, but overall, the volume of the bass line, crank that bitch up, and the volume of the kick drum, turn that bitch down. That's take off the sidechain and put some compression on the master. Yeah, you know, compression on the master and like brick wall limiting and stuff. We try to not get into that too much because that's where it becomes like scientific. I don't think I'm wrong. Let's. I'm second doubting myself as we do this. This is nice, musically speaking. Need more volume on the bass, for sure. Way more. And now? Yep. I stick to my guns. The kick drum is crazy loud. Fix that and increase the bass line, and we have a nice beat. Oliver Jones is in the chat room saying, there is no wrong. I don't know how to interpret that. There is no wrong. I don't know. Oliver Jones, am I coming through or am I just mean to you? I don't know. You asked about the mix and this is my feedback. Fix the mix and it's going to be awesome. The kick drum needs to be taken down. Accurate looks so disappointed when the kick hits. A little bit. But we're talking about feedback. We're talking about constructive criticism here. So you still have time, I hope, to like fix this. Then it's going to be great. I'm not going to have a lot of bad stuff to say at all. Super clean and nice and cool production. Just fix the mix. That's all. So let's move into the next one. Gianni. This was Gianni. Am I just... Okay, hold on. Okay, Oliver Jones made another beat before. This wasn't feedback on him. Sorry, my bad. Forget about that. Let's move on. The next beat comes from Love Beats, or LUV Beats. Love from LUV Beats from Italy. I guess that's Italy, but he put an extra Y in there. LUV. I'm gonna read that as love beats. Let's go. Right. And a nice fade out for me to start talking. That's appreciated. LUV says in the chat room, sorry for the poorly written message. I was scared I couldn't get the submission on time. I totally understand what you're saying. So a nice bossa nova kind of sampled or inspired beat. This is good. I'm a big fan of this. The bass line, nice and fun without being like too crazy. Dum, da, da, dum, 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 dum. Nice. And again, the contrast between like this is the rhythm, this is what we're going for, and then you have a lot of like stuff on top of it. The contrast between like the rhythm of the things and the like extended cool flowy notes with a little bit of tremolo or whatever, vibrato. It's nice and it becomes vibey and fun. If we want to be a little bit, if we want to try to be a little bit, you know, have a little bit of feedback, I'm lacking just a little bit of crispiness in the snare drum. Just a little bit of saturation, or maybe just boosting like 15K, something like that. Just a few decibels, just a little bump to make the snare cut out a little bit more, to make it feel more as a produced beat than, you know, a DJ mashup kind of thing, which is also a style and cool, of course. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's the... Would have made it just a little bit better, just by having a little bit more crispiness, high frequencies and saturation over whatever you want to call it, on the snare drum specifically. But this is really cool. I'm a big fan. It feels like you've worked with a really good sample and you've made the best you could out of it, combining it with a drum break, I guess, and the bass line. Does a lot of the heavy lifting. I like that too. Just dropping things out, introducing an effect to go rhythmically doing things. It's nice. Gives the listener a little bit of stuff to pay attention to. It's not just a straight up beat just moving along. It also has a little bit of, hold on, wait for it. Here we are. A little bit of those moments, which is cool. Definitely. But I like the fact that the bass line is super subby and really low in the register. I think that's cool for this. You know, we don't always have to bash producers. We don't always have to point out what's bad. This is good. I programmed the drums. I played the bass live on electric bass. The side percussions were already in the sample. So this is actually a live bass. That makes sense. Because, you know, the notes and the line itself, it's exactly what a bass player would have played. Because if you program it or playing it on keyboards, it might become exactly the same, or it might come out a little bit differently. But this is how I would kind of imagine a bass player play the bass line. Dum, 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 dum. Yeah, the bass line is nice. Thank you for submitting this one. Something that's fun and fun without being like clowny or too much. Yeah? Big fan of this. Great job, LUV Beats from Italy. Thanks a lot. Let's move along to the next one. Jan MTL says, "Hi. I like your last video upload. I can relate with it as I never finish my beats. But your beat review shows helps me a lot. To have a deadline is what I needed. Thanks. This beat was started on the MPC, then finished in a DAW." Okay, so the last video I uploaded was just me working on beats, like 3-4 tracks in the studio for an afternoon and just cutting that together. And the theme of the video is, this is the art of not finishing anything. That's what I did. And he understands me, and he's using this show as an excuse to have somewhat of a deadline, which is cool. That helps sometimes. But, you know, if you consider this as a deadline and you're not featured once, that's just what it is. In this case, you are. Your name is Jan MTL. The beat is called Villain. Let's go. cool stuff. When a beat is that when a beat is that cool and that exciting, and it's 2.5 minutes, I'm just gonna play the entire thing. That's just what it is. Well, this was so fun, so cool. I hear all the struggles you've been through, and believe me, I know the struggle, but the outcome here is just really, really cool. I do have some points of feedback and some thoughts myself, but a lot of people in the chat room are also loving it. Fire emojis all over the place. MTL, are you still in here? You have a lot of fans in the chat room. Stan Solo says, what a ride. And yeah, this was a ride for sure. People are pointing out like Starsky and Hutch and The Naked Gun, and it sounds like one of those old cop shows on TV from like the 70s, early 80s, I don't even know. Working with samples like that is difficult though, when it comes to like finding the balance in the EQ, because horns of that nature tend to be really like creating a lot of ear fatigue, being like almost too intense. To find the right frequencies and just nail it down to find the right balance is really, really difficult. And I don't think you have a little bit of way to work there. There's still some stuff about the horns that becomes a little bit too sharp combined with everything else, but no, we're really splitting hairs. We're talking about the details. The vibe and the feeling and the mode, everything here is just rock solid. This is really good. But I guess you have like done a lot of filtering in an EQ, like finding the right things and just trying to keep it somewhat controlled, Do I want to update my MPC now? The arrangement here, the build-ups, the stuff that happens with the dynamics and like the storytelling of the beat is just awesome. Really good stuff. And the chord switch up too, really, really good stuff. A part of me wants to know like how much is this the sample and how much is this you, and like arranging stuff and like changing pitch and whatever. What have you done to it? You never know. And maybe, just maybe, it would be cool to hear this. I'm thinking about like, Isaac Hayes and the Shaft soundtrack. One of those hi-hats that's like really just a little bit, a hi-hat with more tone and a little bit more character and maybe a little bit longer than the snare or the hi-hat you have going on here. The hi-hat you're working with could benefit. This is just me and my thoughts. This is just me thinking loud. The hi-hat you're working with here could be like a nice touch, like a nice thing to combine with a different hi-hat with a little bit more steady groove and just a lower pitch value and just being more stable, just keeping the beat. Because right now it's super funky and that's the purpose of it. But a part of me wants something to just drive more like chum 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 chum, to have that basic drive at the bottom of it, and then do all the things with the hi-hats now also. But maybe combining those two things could be even more beneficial to the vibe and the feeling and the swing and the groove. I might also be wrong. Talking about the hi-hats for 5 minutes on a beat this finished and this good. I don't even know, but this is what I do. This is what I do here. Yeah, I totally forgot about that too. Having a section like this is ballsy. And it also kind of makes what I said right, because listen to the hi-hat in the drum break here. The hi-hat is pretty much just steadily going, just keeping the pulse. You know. Is that an accordion? Yeah, love the dirty bass line, Salbert says. Yeah, the bass line is also really... all those bass slides. Good stuff. Why am I like this? Why am I pointing out all the stuff about the hi-hat? This is awesome. This is really good as it is. Great stuff. Great stuff. Back into the chat room again. I'm just being full of myself, just getting into it, talking. I kind of want the baseline shifted. I don't know. Syntax with a €5 super chat says, accurate gang, don't forget this live to share on your socials. This track was fire. Yeah, okay, that's maybe also worth mentioning. I'm getting questions and people are like confused and being polite and everything, but if I feature one of your beats here and you want to like take a portion of the video and post that on socials, you're more than welcome to do so. Sure, it helps me and the algorithms and stuff a little bit, but you know, for your sake, you don't have to ask for my permission or anything. It's your music and me just enjoying them and talking about the music. If you want to share some of this, fine, just go for it. You do have my permission, every single one of you. Atomonos with a €2 super chat as well. Awesome. Are you giving me more super chats because of the beats, the quality of the beats? In that case, the money should go to me. The money should go to the producer itself, you know. And yeah, it does sound like an organ. It's not a harmonica. My bad. DJ Shadow vibes. Fucking sick. Yeah. A shaker doing 16ths maybe? Yeah, maybe that's what I'm trying to go for. Maybe it is. Awesome stuff. The bass line doing the same melody as the horn is very cool. Yeah. Salberts also points out, or share your music on the Discord. Yes, that's also a thing you can do. Because we are reviving, I guess, the Discord in the chat room. Feel free to join, have a little bit of conversations about stuff, share your music, give feedback to one another, talk about gear, whatever you want to do. The Discord is a place to do that. Jan MTL, you've had enough time in the stream. Awesome beat, awesome work. And the next one comes from Noah, and an English word I can't say. Noah the Propizer? Noah the Prophacer. Noah the Propizer. I've tried enough. Okay. Old beat I made. God loves all.mp3. Okay. Let's go. Okay. A nice piece of music. That's just awesome. I can't help myself but thinking about like the old Kanye. I miss the old Kanye, you know? Kanye West, Ninth Wonder, that type of really soul-y type of beats. The sample and the flips and everything in here is great stuff. But my first thought that came in was like, hey, where's the energy? Where's the hard hitting drums and the like, you know? And then the more I heard it, the more I felt like, yeah, imagine a rapper like the old Kanye West. I miss the old Kanye. You don't need more drums than this. It's good as it is. The more you listen to it, you settle into the vibe and you understand that this could be as it is. What we are lacking though is a bass line. There are some bass instruments in there, maybe hidden in the sample. All that just needs to be punched out. Pulled to the front, just a bass line underneath the entire thing, and then we have a good, solid, nice beat that doesn't need a lot of feedback. But the bass line is necessary. It is. Someone says that it's a little bit stale and you need more variation and stuff. Maybe you do. But maybe this is made for a rapper in mind. Like one of the last tracks on, I think that's the High School Dropout, where Kanye West just speaks on top of the track for like 6 minutes. I don't even know. Just talking about working with Jay-Z and all that. You know, just having a beat like this played in the background and just talking over it, explaining yourself and your history of things and whatever. It's a vibe right there. It's a vibe right there. Even with my lousy voice, just on broken English, just trying to speak. You know, it's nice. It does need a bass line. Clearly intended for a rapper. Yeah, and in that case, it's cool as it is. And this type of soul vibe could be easily paired up with, you know, hard-hitting DJ Premier or Ninth Wonder type of drums. Or it could be held back, like this. The hi-hat groove works really well. This is good. Maybe also like the piano could be taken down a little bit and the vocals up a little bit, but that's me. Noah says, yeah, I suck at bassline and I was trying to filter it out and it didn't work. It did work, but not the entire way, you know? So don't be scared of adding notes to a sample beat like this. Cheat if you have to. I use that sometimes. What's that even called? Logic has a function where you can extract MIDI notes from audio data, and it just gives you a nice ballpark. You know, that's the note and that's the note. It's not always 100%, but it's normally, it's called flex pitch, I think. It always tells you something about the notes to go from. It doesn't need to be this super intricate. It doesn't need to be this super intricate, complicated bass line. Just a few bass notes would have helped. But it's a nice track. I love the vibe of it, and I do miss the old Kanye. I can't remember the next line. I miss the old Kanye, not the, you know. Whatever. Thank you, Noah, for submitting this one. This beat kind of changed the entire vibe of how I'm feeling right now, which is an important part of music. Now, the next beat comes from someone called Raw Diggs. Greetings from Ireland, from a Brazilian. I hope you like the beat. And the beat is called Lander Boogie. So maybe it's mastered with the Lander tool. Who knows? That camera is good. Okay. Lander. That's raw digs. Okay. Here we are. Here we are. Let's listen to raw digs with a beat called Boogie Nape. I'm not even gonna try. Okay, I just gotta point this out. The beat is called Lander Boogie Nape Master version 11 Balanced Medium Rev version 1. Just says something. We all have files like that. I'm not hating, I'm just pointing it out because it's funny. Man. I mean, you guys are fucking nuts. How good are you guys? How good are you? I don't even know where to start. This is... whew. Sometimes we get into like discussions and like in my case, you know, that word. Lost it. Me going on rants talking about mixing. And mixing is important and mastering and all that. But there's a step before all that also is so important for like the overall sound of a track. To know how to fill up the entire frequency spectrum with things without going too messy about it. And you did a great job with this one right here. Just that's why I'm pointing this out. We had a lot of bass, we had a lot of rhythm percussive elements, a lot of drums, a lot of strings, and a lot of like, you know, this rhythmical figure over here. I can't find it. Guitar, everything. Just a lot of instruments and a lot of stuff playing alongside of one another and just, you know, just participating in the track to take it to a next level. There's just a lot of things going on, but not too many notes, not too like everything is focused and everything is nice. And that's mixing in one way, but also just putting the right things in the beat, adding the right things at the right time. That's a big part of production in general. And this guy really knows that. That's obvious from this track. Because, sure, it's larger than life, and that's too much sometimes. But in this case, it's not. It's nice, and it's large, and it's wide, and it's just boom. It's just a bombastic piece of music. But the tempo is nice and laid back, and there's a lot of groove going on with the rhythm and stuff. And someone pointed out there's a lot of vocal chops in here. That's not, obvious vocals that just takes up your focus. This is really, really good stuff. That's the pizzicato strings in the background. Feels like a disco kind of thing, but definitely not in this tempo, you know. So many elements, and nothing sticks out as like a sore thumb, and nothing bothers me. That's one way to put it. That nothing bothers me. Nothing is immediately like, yep, that's a bit weird. Like nothing is out of pitch, nothing is out of beat, and everything's just nicely balanced and great job. That's just... And all those like brum dum, stop it, move it, come it, come dum dum come dum dum. You guys fucking rock. That's not... You rock? I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. It's just great. Raw Digs from Ireland. Great work. Great work. We gotta move along. We can't just fanboy out. The chat room. Raphael, is that you? Don't know if it is. Maybe it is. I can't follow along when I'm in the zone talking about things. Thank you guys. I guess that's you. I played the keyboard myself. This was made on MPC. Okay, cool. Great track. That's just awesome. Great job. You are great. Now, let's move on to John Mossy, who has been featured before. I recognize that name from a few shows, at least. John Mossy says, song is called Zoom Zap, made on the MPC-1 with love. And love is an important ingredient in any type of production. Let's have a listen. John Mossy. So one of the things I really love about doing this show and this concept is that we're getting a wide range of things. You know, this is more of a jam, more of a super like underground type of beat, maybe for a super underground type of rapper. You know, it's not supposed to be finished. It's not supposed to be finished, maybe, but it's not supposed to be polished and beautiful and creamy and, you know, all that. It's supposed to be grimy and dirty and vibey. And it is. And time is also an interesting factor, because in the beginning here I felt like, yeah, one of the kick drums is so far off that it bugs me. And then, like 1.5 minutes into it, I felt like, yeah, that super off kick drum is just a cool feature, you know? So time can take something from becoming like annoying and just something you want to change to like a part of the piece, you know? Backpacker stuff. Yeah, for sure. This type of music to me it's a fine line, because if it's too wonky and too weird, it just feels like you're trying too hard to be different. But if it feels genuine and real and just raw, I just buy it flat out. I'm just into it. I think it's cool. This track is also 4.5 minutes long in its entirety, so maybe that's a factor to take in as well. Leaving drums off the grid like this is cool, and it's fun and it's effective, but it could be overdone. I think you're really like balancing on the line here. Like you're really on the edge of going too far, but maybe not. I don't know. I got a text. Gotta check that out. Okay. So she sent me a TikTok. That's appreciated, but not what I'm going to prioritize right now. You know, leaving a little bit of wonkiness in drum programming like that is cool. Leaving a little bit of wonkiness when it comes to how the pitch values holds up. I'm a little bit allergic to that sometimes. But in this case, I think you, in that thing too. Everything is not super in pitch. It's not super aligning. And I buy it. I think it's cool. It's on the right side of the, you know, if we have this line, this threshold, that's a threshold. This is where this is perfectly good and just in tune and on pitch and on beat and everything. And here is like unlistenable and impossible and just off in too many ways. I think you're here, just touching the edge of being a little bit too weird in terms of the drums and in terms of the pitch. But it's nice. I love the intro. Yeah, awesome stuff. Cool. Vibey and definitely has a specific sound and a genre to it. And that's got to be appreciated. That's nice. Let's move on. Let's move on and see what the next guy comes up with. Adiago Beats says, hey, here we go again. And sends over a beat called Blue Moon. Produced by Adagio Beats. Let's go. I think we've heard this before. No. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try this out. And yeah, Kane TV, I know what you're saying. This camera angle right here, it's a little bit too crazy right now. I moved the camera around just before going live, and it's a little bit. I know it's like, where's the straight line? You know, it's supposed to be here, and follow along backwards, and it really doesn't. The room is like this, and it's what it is. I'm not gonna move the camera. Just you know, I'm not. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to not go on like a 6 minute rant with this because I don't need to. But we keep talking about music and art being subjective and there's no right and wrong and whatever. In this case, my personal taste, this beat, it has it has its upsides. It has potential and it's not a bad piece of work. That's not what I'm saying. Personally, I'm not a fan. Can I say that? Uh, I don't like this beat. I just kind of don't like it. I think the snare drum kills a lot of the vibe for me. And also, it feels like it's it's kind of repetitive and it's predictable. Okay? So it's not a bad piece of work, it's not a bad beat. Me personally, I just don't find it fun. You know? Can I be that harsh? I think I can. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something about the vibe and the feel. And you know, it's if art is subjective and everyone's allowed to have feelings about whatever, it's okay. But I can also be honest to say that this is not up my alley. When it comes to taste, my musical taste, this is just not. It's. The mixing is a part of it, but just the notes and the overall like sound choices here, the instruments are not that inspiring, and the drums, I don't know. There's just something about the entire production here that doesn't really appeal to me. The snare is 80s style. Yeah, it is. And that doesn't have to be bad, you know? Oh man, and now that you mentioned the snare. Yeah, you know, sometimes we just need to point things out. And everyone has different personal tastes in music, and that's fine. Everyone doesn't have to love everything. Can I still appreciate the work that went into this? 100%. 100% I can appreciate and acknowledge the amount of work put in. Sure. But something about that, it just doesn't. I think a beat like this could. We talk about movement. We don't talk enough about movement. And I think more movement in something like this would bring it up one step. Maybe like the snare drum is the big thing. But maybe we want some automation going on in the different synths to have a little bit of more balance, because now it feels really like uniformed, and this is just what it is. It's these notes in line after one another with these drums, and you know, I'm not hating on it. I don't love it, you know. Newbie, if this is from a new producer, I totally get it. This is what you need to do. You need to go through a phase of just making a lot of music that doesn't sound that interesting, because that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't feel interesting, you know? It doesn't feel inspiring. It doesn't feel fun. It doesn't give me any emotions. It doesn't spark joy or, sadness or depression or anger or anything. It's just too flat. And there's a time and place for that too. We talk about movies a lot. We mentioned, could this be used in a movie scene? Yeah, sure it could. Something like this could also be used in a movie in a really cool and punchy type of way, but just as a piece of music in itself, I don't think it kind of holds up. And we're talking about taste here. We're not talking about the techniques used or anything, because it's a valid piece of music. It's not badly produced. It just feels like it lacks personality and it lacks all that. JL says, dude, it might actually work if you just dropped that snare an octave. What? That might actually be true. Who made this? Am I roasting you too hard? Am I being Adagio Beats? Are you here? If I was Adagio Beats, I wouldn't have said anything in the chat room, so you never know. Please don't take this the wrong way. It's just my personal taste, and I do acknowledge the work you put into this. It's not bad, but it's a little bit flat. It lacks a little bit of personality. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, let's move on to the next one, because now I just feel like an ass. Diego Pontigo, who has been featured before, says, "What's up? This is a revival from an old track of mine. Guess the sample." So this is our friend in the chat room called Buckshot Jerry. Let's play his music and let's try to guess the sample. Normally, I'm not a big fan of shouting out samples, but if you ask me to, let's give it a shot.
Information on an amazing phenomenon.
Let me give you an example.
We pick up where we left off, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess it goes on like that for the last half minute too. This is hard to give any feedback on because it feels like there's a lot of artistic integrity going on here. A lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions and a lot of a lot of art. And someone pointed out that we kind of need to distinguish a beat that's made to be an instrumental and a beat that's made for a rapper because they are different things. And to me, we kind of don't because it's all music when it all comes down to it. If you make it for a rapper, it's going to be viewed in one way. If you make it as an instrumental, it's going to be viewed and listened to in another way. If you submit an instrumental here, I think that's part of the fun, thinking about how the beat could be used. Is it for a rapper or is it not? Is it for a video game? Is it for a movie? Or is it just an instrumental? Now, this beat right here, to me, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like you made this one with a rapper in mind, The drum programming is really cool. I do love the groove and the feeling of the drums, not necessarily the sounds. Yeah, the sounds are good, but the overall EQing and filtering could be a little bit brighter, I think, but that's. That riser, that way too loud. Like irritating loud. Too loud. Otherwise, the entire, I have a hard time wrapping my head around this piece of music because it's that. Oh, that camera again. Okay. What I'm trying to say here is that a lot of people in the chat room are talking about this one as a collage, like just a bunch of sounds stacked on top of each other. And maybe that's one way to view it. I try to be nice and I, think about this one as artistic and different and special and all that. When it all comes down to it, maybe it's just drums and a few different samples just put in left and right. And that also has a value. That's also worth something. Can we now... Okay, now it's dead. Now this camera just isn't there. If someone wants to recommend a USB hub or a USB dock that's even better than this one that I paid like $300 for, please send me one for free. I think it's just the USB speed that doesn't, I don't want to use it as an audio source. Okay, that camera is just dead. Let's see if I can just turn it on again. I want that camera. I don't always want my face camera to be the one. That's the one. I want the top view. No, just doesn't correspond. Just doesn't work. So Buckshot Jerry has submitted beats before, and I know the style is a little bit less straightforward than the stuff I make myself, for instance. And I think it's cool. It's hard to give feedback to stuff that's not as straightforward as the stuff most of us do. Freaking camera, what's up? I'm gonna restart the camera and see if that helps. I know this doesn't matter much, but I just care. For some reason, I want this camera to be live and kicking. But the audio was coming through, and I know that it's a black screen. You don't have to tell me, I know. Now, does it fire up? Maybe it doesn't. Now it's up again. USB. So it looks like that camera has totally left us and it doesn't work. And if I change the camera on this one, hold on, I'm not going to do this for half an hour. Okay, it works on that scene, not on this one. That's crazy. That it can't work like that. There we are. Cool. Hello, Mr. Camera. Nice to see you. Somewhat in focus too, I guess. That's better. Cool. Sorry about that. So this beat, what are you guys saying? USB devices, I know. Buckshot Jerry says, I don't think of rappers, but I think of freestyling in a party, high and a bit drunk. Okay. So this beat goes on and you have a lot of drunk and high rappers spitting freestyle raps on this. Okay. Then it works. But horns like that, that's off pitch and spicy like that, it's cool. It's not for everyone. We gotta understand that. Everyone doesn't follow along, everyone doesn't like it. And I think that's okay. Stuff out of pitch, out of key is different. And it's always gonna be different. So let's put that one into the chat room again because we're getting questions. So a question about the multi-party that I kind of want to address, but this is not the show for that. Maybe that's what we're going to do next week, just hanging out and talking about gear, But, Buckshot Jerry, I think we're going to leave it at that. We're just going to state the fact that some people doesn't understand. I'm not sure I understand it myself. It feels like a collage. It doesn't really have a driving force and a clear, point of interest. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe that's not a problem. You never know. The Beatcast. Al has an idea. I wonder if submissions come with a word or two about their intentions for the beat. Instrumental, for an MC, whatever. It could help in the interpretation of the work. Yes, it could. Is that going to be necessary though? No, not mandatory, but it would be cool to know. What's the purpose of the beat? Why did you make it? How do you want it to be used? Now, let's move along to the next one. Now we have that camera fired up and everything is, we're back. This is also a name, Dolce. I'm going to say Dolce Webster. Hiya. Why I don't have any girls on the show? So I'm sending this one from London. I did it for my music exam at school. I hope you like it. Why don't have any girls? Yeah, that's not really up to me, Whenever it's open up and you're able to submit beats, if you're a male, female, or whatever in between, anything goes. This might be a female, a girl, which is cool. Everyone should always make music. Everyone should always make beats. Let's have a listen to this one by Dolce Webster. We gotta hear the guitar where this goes. Okay. I think we get it. You know, this show is open for anything. And why don't have any girls on the show? What happened with the audio? Okay. That was just a really loud mix, I think. So, to me, my first thought was Radiohead. My second thought was Massive Attack. And my third thought was Bjork. And if we take all those things and combine Radiohead, Massive Attack, and Bjork, you know, it's just great stuff. This is something I normally don't say. You know, you haven't heard this from me before. I would have loved to produce this track. It's not hip hop, it's not boom bap, whatever. I guess this is, I don't even know the genre right now. What is it? Someone said Portishead, someone said Tricky. Yeah, something like that. What's this called? Trip hop? Trip hop. Yeah, trip hop. Awesome stuff. The guitar, it's nice. It's a Radiohead-y, kind of Massive Attack-y, kind of Portishead-y type of vibe. Awesome. Drums could be spiced up. Vocals needs a little bit of processing. A little bit of space needs to be added, I think. Just music production wise in general.
Red on your shoes, red in your hair.
Maybe a different harmony too in the vocal would be like taking it to yet another level. You know, I think it would be really fun to have a project like this and just work on the mixing, the sound selection, and just, you know, putting some finishing touches on it, because it's really cool. It's a nice track, it's a good song, but it could be taken to the next level with just a few simple steps. To me, maybe grungier drums would be cool. More of a bass line would be cool. Some delay or reverb on the vocal. Maybe some weird stuff. Maybe some tremolo on a few things.
And I still got those old Doc Martens, they're battered and they're worn. And I've been
A really cool voice and a really cool... yeah, this is cool. This is good. Who made this? Dolce Webster. Are you here? Are you in the chat room? Who knows? It's a nice track and it has a lot of potential, but you know, some finishing touches about the production would take this one to the next level for sure. And it's good. What's happening here with the when the guitar has its solo moment is also vibey and cool.
record you always had on. And I have kept some of your great paintings, but the rest.
That idea for the harmonies is really cool, but it needs to be changed up and just sound in a different way. But it's nice. What makes Portishead so effective is the simple, dirty bits on top. Very nice, just needs some small points of interest. Yeah, it feels a little bit flat and it needs to be, you know, a few things just in the production part of it needs to be changed for me to really love this. But it's interesting and it's cool and it's awesome to have something like that sent into a show like this. Just awesome. Really good stuff. Nice and vibey and cool. And I love it. What's happening on Instagram right now? And my Wi-Fi is crazy. But yeah, cool. Awesome stuff. Now I lost myself in the email. Dolce Webster, thank you for sending it in. Awesome work. Nice track. I don't need to repeat myself. The next one comes from Dale Dempsey. I started working on this after I saw your video the other day about not being able to finish anything. Wasn't that like yesterday? I did all this on headphones, so not sure how the bass sounds. Curious how my new approach to gain staging sounds to you. Okay, that's also very specific. Let's have a listen to Dale Dempsey. Oh. What? That's it? Okay, the track is just 47 seconds long. What? Let's play it again. That's less than 2 minutes anyways. And okay, so all the individual sound designing elements here, or sound design elements, is really cool. For sure. Really cool stuff. A lot of cool like textures and the vocal being like super processed and everything. Cool. What is it though? I'm not getting the big picture here. It feels a little bit too picked apart. It's like a jigsaw puzzle with a lot of pieces, and I'm gonna have to build everything for myself in my mind, because it's not a finished cohesive piece of music, and everything doesn't have to be, but it helps. I love the sounds, I love the ideas, and I love like the vibe of it, but I'm not getting the full musical experience. This is 47 seconds, and it feels like I want a stable rhythm. I want the big picture. I just want more of it. Everything I'm hearing in these 47 seconds is effective, cool, and vibey. But where's the big picture? Where is the music? Is this it? Like Billie Eilish became crazy and made this. That's just what it is. Hard to say anything else. Sound design wise, it's great. It's right in there. It's awesome. But I want more. I want to hear the finished idea, how it holds up. Where's the loop, if there's a loop? Where's the, really, really hard to say anything else. Someone said something here about Dolce has given up on music, now doing graphics. Rather irritating. Okay, so you know who this is? Who this was? The last one? Dale Dempsey, I don't really know what else to say. Started working this after I saw your video about not being able to finish anything. That's exactly what you did. You didn't finish this one. I get it. I think it's worth revisiting this one and finishing it, and present the full idea of the piece of music that's cohesive and coherent, and sound designing and what did you say? Gain staging. I don't have anything bad to say. This is good, but I want more. So let's move on. And according to my email right now, have we done? No, this can't be right. Let me take a second just to check this. In the email, it looks like I have 3 more to go. 3 more to go. And in this list, we have heard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that's what it is. So it's been 2 hours right now because I was late. So why not just play the last 3 too? We're going to be able to cover everything today, guys. Awesome. Albin Johansson. Or Albin Johansson. I go by Alban the Unbreakable. Okay. Alban the Unbreakable with a track called Insane. Let's have a listen. That's 2 minutes of it. What stands out here to me, the snare drum and the 2 bass lines, or the 2 bass elements. You know, music making in this way is like painting a picture. Somehow, sometimes you just gotta decide, where do I want the listener to focus? In this case, it's obviously the bass line. But apart from the bass and this beautiful rimshot snare sound, there's a lot of cool stuff going on in the upper registers too. Some of that is just like noise and just textures and stuff, which is interesting and cool. But there's even more. Listen up top. Try to not think too much of the drums and the bass. Listen up top. It's crackly and distorted and overdriven and, you know, saturated. Or maybe just distortion. but also like some nice plucks and some things there that just adds to the overall rhythm and the vibe and the groove of the thing, which is really, really cool. Because the bass line is really strong as it's in itself. It's just the melody of the bass line is nice, and the chord changes. Not the chord, but the root note, But this would have been nothing at all without all the stuff going on top. Like all the noises, all the nice. And some. This is really cool. You can go a long way just using a lot of textures and a lot of what I call air candy, together with some melodic stuff. And when it plays this nicely with the bass line, there's not much to be said. It's nice and cool. Maybe it would have benefited from a section that's vastly different, like a B section that goes differently. But who cares? This is a vibe. This is really nice. And I'm imagining a really laid-back, slow, laid-back, lyrical rapper. Would have made a lot of sense. Someone like Evidence, Someone just rapping exactly as they speak, with just a natural voice, just telling a story, just not necessarily storytelling, but just a laid-back, confident rapper with a lot of like emotion and a great feel. That would make sense. Apollo Brown and used yada 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 used the same sample in exactly the same way. Okay, that happens sometimes. Someone points out Nas would sound good on this too. And of course, Nas would also be nice. Nas is always nice. Nas is like nice. 2 more beats for today, and the next to last one is T-Dub Music. Peace, Ak. Thanks for the opportunity and always appreciate your take on the art. This is a quick 1-minute submission of a song I called Possession. Okay, 1 minute. So let's focus on this 1 minute. By T-Dub Music.
T-Dub Music.
See me coming, start running it. Hey yo,
shit is real, I put the M for the 4. Keep it with me, cause possession's 9/10 of the law.
Okay. Big fan of the vocal parts in there. Big fan of the drums and all the cool like dropouts and breakdowns and stuff in the drums. Not a huge fan of the mix. It feels like it could be adjusted and just made into what it's supposed to be. By just, basically increasing and lowering the volume of the different elements. Maybe just in this case, I don't say this a lot, but just reference something else. Listen to a piece of music that you like and just compare that to yours, and it's going to be obvious that some of the frequencies need to be tweaked. Maybe in mastering, maybe in mixing, maybe in production. Who the fuck knows? The vibe of this is really cool. The drum sounds, the drum fills and all these things, I really don't do that enough myself. So that's a point taken to me, that you just need to play around with your drums more because it's really cool.
With me, 'cause possession's 9/10 of the law.
This section, really cool. Dum ba dum 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 dum. Awesome. But it could be brought out to like the forefront of things just by adjusting the EQ and the mixing of things. Just getting some more energy, because there's a lot of energy in there, but it's kind of hidden in the background. Beat Owl says it needs more cowbell. Everything always needs more cowbell. Sure. The drums are a little bit thin. Kane TV, yeah, maybe so. A little bit more percussion, more cowbell. Well, the vibe and the feeling here is spot on. I love like this raw type of hip hop vibe to it, but it doesn't really translate away as well as it could because of the mixing. But everything is nicely chopped up and the bass line fits nicely in there. The drums is cool. The drums are cool, but just the overall mixing is a little bit weak. So someone who really knows the art of beat making, but maybe just has a different taste when it comes to mixing, or I'm just wrong, It's a nice track. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's cool. And adding those, is it MOP or?
See me coming, start running it.
Could be Mob Deep, could be MOP, not sure. Sounds good. On my Beats earbuds, it sounded fire. Okay, cool. But great job. And you are in the chat room. So good for you. Good for all of us. It's dope. Just mixing. I don't know. So the last submission for today comes from Mr. Moldy Thoughts, who is in the chat room. You are gonna do the last beat for today. HTTP status bad request? That has never happened before. No! Moldy Thoughts? It doesn't work. It's an MP3 file and I can't download it. Let's try. Yep, all the other ones works, but this one doesn't. Well, that's unfortunate. For the last beat for today? No. Moldy Thoughts, I'm sorry. And you also said, made a little tune with VCV rack. Virtual Euro rack for the poor. Yeah, we know. I know. And was conducting the randomness. Throw an acapella over it and there we go. But unfortunately, I can't download it. It gives me a bad request. Maybe it's you, maybe it's me, maybe it's my website. You never know. Or maybe we have like overloaded the system. We've had too much beats, too much fire, too many beats. And yeah, there are 2 more emails in my inbox, but they didn't come through the way they should come through. People just emailed accurate@accuratebeats.com and, Unfortunately, that's not what we're going to do. And if I accept 1 or 2 of those submissions like that, everyone's going to think that's a way to get in. and it's not. You have to use the form. And Moldy Thoughts had, it just didn't work. Moldy Thoughts, I'm sorry about that. Let's check out the chat room. Play a beat from yourself then. This one? Oh no. Uploaded twice. Okay, but still, right now the whole thing is closed, so you can't use it. And well, I uploaded it twice. One was bad. Yeah, but there's only one here. Only one here. Because that's not you, and that's not you, and that's not you, that's you. That didn't work, no. I don't have your beat. I'm sorry. I just don't. Not enough bandwidth for this much skill. Yeah. Some elevator music as you search for another beat. Well, this puts me in a weird position. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Moldy Thoughts says, damn. And you should, because I feel you. Moldy Thoughts, would it be possible for you to send in over email? Because you should have been in here, but you're not. In the chat room, I've left my email. That comes to the same thing. I'm not taking submissions like that, but in your case, I just gotta. Moldy Thoughts were in, it should have come in. You made the bracket, so to speak, but it can't be featured because the file doesn't work. And that's not your fault. You made it in time and everything, so I think you deserve the spot. If you could, please email the same thing, the same file. Just email it straight into my inbox and it's going to be played. If you don't feel like it or you don't have the time or whatever, that's fine. But I just want to give you the opportunity. Because being featured on the Accurate Beats beat review is so valuable. I don't even know. Moldy Thought says, sure. So that's going to happen. That's cool. That's cool. So we've heard this one. I made a video yesterday, I think, with a couple of ideas, and this was one of them. Let's check out the other ones too. I haven't heard them since then. So why not just see if any of these projects is worth keeping? That's silent. That's not good. Alban the Unbreakable. It's life-changing. I'm having labels breathing down my neck. Yeah, we played your beats like an hour ago, and now all the record labels in the world wants to sign you. I'm sure that's exactly what happened. We need to have some weirdness each session. Last week was the guy who forgot the bass track. yeah, that was also a situation. My cat is breathing down my neck. Yeah, sure. Well. But I had 15 or 20 minutes just not making this entire streaming setup work. And sometimes people just send in a beat with a muted bass track. And sometimes I'm getting this 404 bad request from trying to download a file. You know, technology, tech, it's just a thing of its own. You said if any of the projects are worth keeping. I know that feeling. Yeah, this one, not worth keeping. Not the other one either. But I do think I'm gonna finish, or like at least work a little bit more on this one. This is my favorite of the bunch of these three. I think that's pretty good. Maybe I want to do some changes to the stuff. I mean, one thing could be to just immediately I like that more. The bass line is recorded as audio though, so that needs to be pitch shifted. But you know, working on beats is a thing. Working on beats is a thing. That's a quote. You can put that on your arm. Working on beats, ... is a thing. Do we have anything else here I can just fire up real quick? We're still waiting for the submission or the beat from Moldy Thoughts. I gave him the opportunity to send it in over email, and I think that's fair. Let's just open random recent projects on the MPC and see what it is. You never know. Sometimes you might strike gold like that. Sometimes not. Moldy Thoughts has sent the beat. Nice. And it's here, and it's the same file, and it works. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for helping out. Crazy how you get different ideas on top of a good one. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do sometimes. I'm just working on things, just putting samples in the MPC, flipping things around, changing pitch, reorganizing chops and whatever. And sometimes an idea just sticks, sometimes not. Yeah, I made this one. That's also from a live stream that ended up on the channel. So the last track for today has finally been downloaded, and here we are. From Moldy Thoughts. Thanks a lot. Again, thanks a lot for sending it in. I really appreciate that. That allows me to sleep well tonight because I know that we covered everything. So what did you say in your first, when you actually posted it? Made a little tune with VCV rack and was conducting the randomness. I threw an acapella over it, and there we go. So this might be a crazy piece of music. VCV rack is this virtual way of using Euro rack modules, which is a thing in its own. It's sometimes really crazy, sometimes not. So let's listen to this one, which is the last piece of music for today, and then it's time to say goodnight. But Moldy Thoughts, here we go.
Eher loco, OMC und Squid One, der Sound überrollt dich. Er ist dicker als Big Pun, du redest über Skills, obwohl du eigentlich nichts kannst. Dein Rap lässt es reduzieren auf Bitches und Big Guns. Bitte nimm das nicht zu ernst, denn Dicker, das ist Fun. Oder etwa nicht, komm mir nicht zu nah oder ich piss in dein Gesicht. Ja, du bist ambitioniert und trotzdem mögen sie dich nicht. Rapper suchen Werk und wenn ich schreib, ich töte mit dem Stift. Nach der Show kommt die Schame, reicht die Kröte dein Gesicht. Leg das Mic wieder hin, der wirklich nötig ist das nicht. Jeder Track, den ich drop, ist so böse wie dein Blick. Jede Line, die du kackst, ist verblödet wie dein Witz. Denn dein Senf für Tumor ist verkümmert wie der Rest. Bitte lernt, fresse, mir wird schlecht, immer wenn du rappst. Beats, Hooks werden überbewertet wie schlechte Rapper. Braucht den Track nur Hookline. Aber schon besser. Ich bin mir da nicht sicher, lass doch Cuts nehmen. Ich bin gut DJ, was meinst du? Ja, okay, frag den. Hooks werden überbewertet wie schlechte Rapper. Braucht der Track nur Hookline. Unbedingt. Ich bin mir da nicht sicher, lass doch Cuts nehmen. Ich bin gut. Ja, okay, frag den. Ja, wie soll ich meine Pegel warten, wenn diese nur in Rap leicht verdaulich rollen wie Babynahrung? Ihr könnt uns eure schlauen Reden sparen. In dieser Szene sollte man keinem trauen, aber davon jeden schlagen. Du träumst von einem ruhigen Lebensabend und willst erwachsene Musik machen für Menschen, die sind Regen schlafen. Ich könnte jetzt vieles dagegen sagen, doch beschränke mich auf einen Hurensohn und da kannst du jeden fragen.
So, I guess that's German rap. That's the first feature of German rap on this entire live streaming series. So the last beat for today was this one, sent in from Moldy Thoughts and made with VCV Rack. And I was conducting the randomness. I mean, randomness is cool and fun and different and all that. This is not exactly what I was expecting, but kinda. Using something like VCV Rack can become... I haven't done a lot of work inside of VCV Rack myself because it's just a headache, but it's a cool platform and a cool way to do things. But it's also easy to just make sounds that doesn't really fit into anything. What you did here was just to take all these different bits and pieces of randomness and put them together into something that's, it's not totally random. It's not just a bunch of soundscapes. But it's pretty uneven when it comes to the mixing and holding things at a certain level. Some things just sticks out in a way that's not super pleasant to listen to, but it's a fun listening experience, It's a fun experience and it's a fun thing. Would I have appreciated the piece of music more if it was more like more concise? Yeah, I think I would. Still though, it's kind of cool. German rap is different.
Sie dich nicht, Rapper suchen Werk und wenn ich schreib, ich töte mit dem Stift. Nach der Show kommt die Schame, reicht die Kröte dein Gesicht. Leg das Mic wieder hin, der wirklich nötig ist das nicht. Jeder Track, den ich drop, ist ein...
That chord right there, super loud, reminded me of 2000 era LA underground rap. Yeah, maybe. This is cool. This is not the best beat I've heard from Moldy Thoughts, but it's cool. It's fun, and it's just a trip in many ways. And imagine hearing this without the rap.
So wie dein Blick, jede Line, die du kackst, ist verblödet wie dein Witz. Denn dein Senf für Tumor ist verkümmert wie der Rest. Bitte lernt, fresse, mir wird schlecht, immer wenn du rappst.
But yeah, mixing-wise, things just needs to be controlled, I think, in order to make something that's like just nice to listen to, pleasing to the ear. Things needs to be straightened out and just a little bit more subtle. The sequences are random. Okay, they are. But even because that's a human nature kind of thing. We always try to find patterns. That's one of the things we do as human. And sometimes someone like me who just builds up 4-bar loops, it's obviously patterns. And when you're working with randomness, your mind and your kind of like psyche is trying to find patterns that doesn't really exist. If it's truly random, it's truly random. But I'm still picking up like, yeah, that one, we've heard that before we've heard this part before together with this part, and how does it work? So it becomes confusing and a mind process, which is cool. And it feels really good to be able to play that track since it wasn't really coming through. Honestly, we have 2 more emails that I'm not going to play. And 1 more came in just now. But I'm going to be this harsh. I'm not going to play anything that just comes into the email, because I'm not going to be able to control that, It's just going to become total chaos. So that's it for today. And I'm still debating whether I'm going to do this again next week or not. I'm just going to allow myself to keep that a little bit open. It's going to depend both on my schedule at work, because things are happening, and also my energy levels and whatever I feel like. Maybe I'm going to go live on Twitch to just do something. Maybe I'm going to go on this stream on YouTube and do a beat review. Maybe I'm just going to be here making a beat myself. I don't even know. And I'm not going to promise anything. We've done this for a lot of weeks consecutively. So you never know. Do you find one of the most commonly overlooked components of mixing is dialing in frequencies so things aren't too harsh or grating? Yeah, I think that's like the main part of mixing. Finding frequencies and finding things that doesn't work. And I always talk about that. I much prefer taking out stuff than adding stuff. When we're talking about EQs and frequency spectrums and stuff, I just like to have a subtractive mindset over an additive one. To me, it always becomes easier and better when you take things out of a sample or an instrument than when you're trying to add frequencies. You can, of course, do it, and often to a large extent, but in my world, oftentimes it just makes more sense to find the frequencies that are the issue and just taking them down instead of boosting the frequencies that you want. It's a little bit backwards, but it works for me. And it's a big part of the process to find where things go. It's a jigsaw puzzle, just finding the pieces and just putting things in place. Is there a new way to get played at the review? Just send you an email. No, JK, that's not how it works. Whenever I go live on a beat review like this, I talk you guys through the process. I go into my website. I kind of turn on this little way for you guys to submit beats through my website. It's basically a form. You just type a few things like your name and maybe a message and attach an MP3 file. Submit it and it comes to my inbox the way I want things to be laid out. Because then I can open up that door to receive beats for a while and then close it again to not have like 85 beats. So that's the only thing we do it. That's the only way we're doing it. And everything is done through accuratebeats.com. So if you go there right now, you can't submit a beat. But if you go there like 15 minutes after the next live stream starts, you're going to be able to. So I'm not accepting beats over email. I gotta be honest. Al with another question. Please, Instagram. Right now I gotta leave. That's not very nice. I'm sorry. Al asks, I wanted to ask you selfishly, do you know if Machine MK3 Plus can do that ping pong bouncing effect on sample chops the same way as the MPC can. Well, you're talking about adding the tail value that becomes this ping pongy thing of extending notes. No, I'm pretty sure that that machine can't. I did this thing back in the day when I used the grain delay, and I got a little bit of that functionality. Grain delay with some certain settings made the grain delay kind of extend the sample in a weird way. It created its own little sound, which wasn't always pleasant, but it worked. But the adding a tail on a sample like the MPC does, I don't think the MPC does it anyway at all. That's what I think. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. David Scott Cole has also the English. David Scott Cole has also come into the chat room, and hi man, it's nice to see you. Right now, this stream is over. We've been live for not 3, but maybe 2.5 hours, something like that. So it's time to go. This was another episode of my beat review live streaming concept. Next week, I don't even know if we're doing this. Stay put on the channel and be a subscriber and whatever to know. But things always change. You never know what happens. That's the magic of life, I guess. Yeah, gotta go now. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. If that's next week or 2 weeks, if that's the next week or in 2 weeks, I don't know. But thanks for submitting all the beats, and we do have some really talented fire producers in the community, which is awesome, and I'm really happy and thankful for that. And the fact that you guys want to send in these beautiful pieces of music to this show for me to just rant on about them is beautiful. I love that. It's fantastic. You guys are great. You're awesome and fantastic. And I guess I'm okay too. You know? That's it for today. Thanks a lot, guys. And see you guys in the next one. Peace out.